Hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back. Well, you recall the recent video about Apple's hugest blunder with the iPhone 12. I have a solution, at least for the PC users. Sorry, Mac people, and I'm one of yous. Well, I'm actually both of yous because I have PC and Mac in the house. So, okay, here's the thing. You need to go into settings on your iPhone. And if you're having problems, by the way, with any iPhone, follow these settings. As long as they exist on your iPhone, you'll be fine. But you should be fine with like the 8, the 10, the SE 2020, now the 12. It should have all the same settings. But anyways, go to your settings in your phone, and you want to go to Photos. Okay. Now you want to say optimize iPhone storage. That's fine. On the 8, I found out I actually had on my 8, I had to go to download and keep originals, which I don't know why, but I had an issue earlier, so I did that and it was fine. Now, down at the bottom, it says transfer to Mac or PC, automatic or keep originals. Automatically transfer photos and videos in a compatible format or always transfer the original file without checking for compatibility, okay? Now, on automatic, the phone has no brain. It has no AI. It has no instruction code to say, I'm okay to plug into a PC. Honestly, really, I am. You know, I can do this. I can do this. No, it doesn't have a brain cell for that. So, you have to give it a brain by telling it to keep originals. When you do that, you will no longer get that error for transferring your files from your iPhone to your PC. If you leave it on automatic, you're going to be so frustrated. You'll be doing the searching like I did and finding out. One guy will have a video that says, oh, all I had to do is change cables and it was fine. I had a bad cable. Well, no. When you got brand spanking new cables that you know are working and they do work still on other iPhones and other devices, yeah, it ain't the cable. There's a setting issue, and that's why we have this iPhone 12 here that we had to play around with to get things going. That's number one. Now, the other suggestion I would make, just as a precautionary, is in your camera settings. Now, I have my phone set at 4K at 30 frames per second. In the formats area, do not use high efficiency. You may have a problem, okay? It depends on the phone, but you may have a problem. I know on the iPhone 8, I had to switch this to most compatible. And I also switched it to most compatible for the 12. And between those two, I have no problems firing it up to my PC. In fact, I can now play back 4K 30 frames per second without the PC asking me for a codec to download from the Microsoft Store for $1 and change. So, keeping those two in mind, that's what we got. Now we're going to shoot a video with this phone for you guys, plug it in and show you this live on camera, that this actually does work and the error is now dealt with and gonzoed. Okay, so let's make sure we're also out of any other background apps. All we need is our camera app, and we're going to shoot a little video here in the room. In fact, look, I'm using my iPhone 8 to actually record this video. So let's start recording. So there's our iPhone 8, and there's my hand in front of it. Yay! Okay, so let's take a little scan around the room here and check out my studio, check out my Big Mac. No, it's not edible. It's a Macintosh computer, not a Big Mac from McDonald's. Okay, so let's just scroll around a little bit more, get some footage here. We're recording this in 4K at 30 frames per second. Yes, my hand's a little shaky. Okay, so there we go. So that should be enough for recording. Now, let's get out of our camera app completely. And even shut it down in the background. And voila. Now, the cable I'm using is a USB-C to Lightning. And I have an adapter on the one end in order to convert it to my regular USB, because I don't have a USB-C on my tower. And this is going into a Windows 10 computer. And we're going to plug it in there. And we're going to see some little signs show up here in a second. There we go. That's for my Dropbox. And we're going to go into the Explorer area. Look at that, Apple iPhone. How about that? All right, there's the drive. Now, we've had this before, remember. Okay, but we had a problem. So let's take both of these files and let's copy them to the desktop. Oh, would you look at that? It's going! Yes, we have video footage. All right, so let's play it back. Remember, this what we're seeing on screen was done in 4K 30 frames per second. Start recording. So there's our iPhone 8, and there's my hand in front of it. Yay! Okay, so let's take a little scan around the room here and check out my studio. Check out my Big Mac. No, it's not edible. It's a Macintosh computer, not a Big Mac from McDonald's. Okay, so let's just scroll around a little bit more, get some footage here. We're recording this in 4K. That's good enough, eh? Yeah, it works. Awesome. 4K is sick. Okay, so there's the other folder we took off. Voila. All right, so here's our video that we're cutting. I think this was another video I tried to do for you guys. It's not the same file. Same sort of scan around the room, though. But there you go. That's like peachy cream perfect. I love that. And no Kodak needed. Yay! Okay, so we know that this works because we've changed these settings. And that's all we had to do. Now, for us Mac users as well, on the other side of the fence here, we're going to plug the iPhone into my Mac. And it has recognized on the Mac. So it's now plugged into my Mac, into my hub. We have no drive icon representing the iPhone, which really sucks. But if we fire up iMovie, we should have it here. Import media, because you have to. Oh, look at that, Kevy's iPhone. Would you like iMovie? iMovie would like to access the camera. Yeah. Yeah, well, we're not doing that right now with FaceTime, so bug off. All right, so you can see I got a bunch of video files here. And so there it is. So this one here, we want, so we're just going to import the one. And now, it's going to be the same deal. If we take it and we try and copy it over to the desktop, from there, we still get an XML encoding file. So you still have no option but to deal with iMovie, take it down to the storyline, go up, go to the share area, export video, say next, it's in 4K, my movie, desktop, save. So we're still stuck with this, with the Mac. So you must have iMovie on your Mac or another video editor that will read your iPhone in order to get your footage off. That really sucks. I mean, things used to be much simpler. Now it's nothing but a pain in the neck between an iPhone and a Mac. I mean, Big Sur does have its downsides. Okay, because this is not the phone's problem. This is the problem with the operating system. Okay. And now we can take and we'll delete this out of here because we don't need it. The movie is done. So we'll hit delete. And then we'll remove this here from the event because we don't need that either anymore. I don't keep a running tally in my iMovie. It actually, I did that once. It drove me nuts trying to find stuff again. So let's double click. Voila. Right back. All right, so here's our video that we're cutting. I don't think this was the one with my hand waving in front of it. But it doesn't matter. It's the same 4K footage. It's coming right off the iPhone 12. Same as what you saw on the PC there. There's my Mac. Yeah, you can see that crack in my screen still. Whoopsie. Okay, that's it. 4K, man. 4K 30 frame per second on the Mac or the PC. I'm pretty sure the Mac wouldn't have any problem with 60 frame per second. Without having to need a Kodak, you'd be fine. But on Windows environment, for some reason, it will barf at you for 60 frames per second. So that is solved as far as that goes. So if you don't remember what I told you to do, just go back to the beginning of the video and you'll see where I went for the camera settings, where we went for the photo settings, Make sure that's set up that way. You won't have any issues on your iPhone 12. You're probably going to have to do this as well on the new iPhone 13 when it's released. iPhone 11s probably, if you have that same error, because I got the error, and like I said, a YouTuber just changed his cable on his 11 and it fixed his problem. But of course, many other people reported didn't do a darn thing for me, and I did the same thing. I went through a lot of cables trying to figure this out. It's like, this is of no help. And of all the videos, none of them had this solution. So I was kind of like, well, we got to figure this out, Kevy, because, yeah, you need to solve this, and the world needs to know when you do. So, world, you now know how to fix this problem with copying files. So, the Blunder has been fixed a la Kevy. So you don't have to wait around for a possible OS update or iOS update for your phone, because that probably won't matter. These are the settings you have to do. Why this has gotten this way with Apple, even with the phones, I don't know. Because, you know, it's just stupid. You know, it's like, I should be able to go into the Mac, I should be able to just go to the PC and just copy those files. And yeah, it's a bit of a drag. Still a total drag though on the Mac side. So on the Mac side, if you have a Mac and you have an iPhone, if you want to avoid iMovie or any of your other programs and just zip your files to your computer first, just airdrop them, because that's the only way you can get them in there as MPEG-4s already and not have to open those programs. You just airdrop it, because I have done that. Airdropping works perfectly fine for the iPhone to the Mac. But on the PC side, we don't have airdrop, so you will have to plug your phone into your PC, but you'll have to make sure that these settings are exactly as per that I showed in the video at the beginning, and everything will work out fine. You can just plug in just like you did with your last probably 4 or 5 iPhones previous to this. Anyways, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Spread it around the world. Share it everywhere, because people need to know, because there's going to be a lot of people getting mad thinking they got problems with their phones or their cables, and it's not the phone, it's not the cable, it's the software. It has absolutely no brain cells. Apple kind of made a boo-boo either way. It's still a bit of a blunder, but it's not a huge one anymore. It's at least fixable by going click, click on a couple settings, and you're good to rock and roll. Catch you later!